Now I want you to imagine that you've created, oh, let's say a dozen or maybe even 50 pages out of this template, all with their own images and their own captions. And if you want, you could add the previous and next buttons that I added to the ones in the gallery that you see already in the site. So imagine the time's gone by, you've added 50, and then you realize, whoa, you know what? In 2009, I really should change the copyright date. And you have this little 2008 to 2009. All I'm doing is changing that little tiny number 8 to number 9. Simple little edit. But if you have to open 50 pages and change that on each one of those 50 pages, yeah, that would take a long time just to change that one little number. But we don't have to do that if we use a template, because if we use a template, then we can go back to our original gallery.dwt file, make the change here in this non-editable region. Part of why we protected this region and made sure it wasn't editable in the pages created from the template was so that we could later use this area to make global changes. So watch what happens now when I choose Save. Notice that Dreamweaver is offering to update both my sea lion page and my batfish page. And if I had 50 pages made from this template, it would list all 50 here. And when I click Update, it will automatically make that change. If you choose Show Log, you can actually see that the changes were successfully made. Close this, and let's just switch over to each of those pages and make sure. Look at that, copyright 2009. And if I go to Batfish and I go down to the bottom, it's automatically changed there. Can't you immediately see how that could save you hours and really even weeks of time? Now, what if I want to make a change in the middle of the template? So if I go back to the gallery and I say, well, actually, I kind of like that neutral gray image that you have in the original template in here, Janine. I don't really want to use one of the photographs from this collection, because then it's a little confusing. Every time I create a new page, it's an actual picture, and I can lose track. Well, no problem. Dreamweaver has this nifty little feature that lets you insert an image placeholder. So let me just delete that, and let's choose Insert, Image Object, Image Placeholder. If you've ever wondered what that was for, that's just to create a generic graphic. I'm going to call it Photo. And since these photos are 500 pixels wide, I'll go ahead and do that, and let's go with 300 pixels high. Now, it doesn't really matter. Whatever image you insert in place of this will override this height and width setting, and Dreamweaver will adjust to the actual height and width of the image. So if you're using horizontal and vertical images, for example, don't worry that this height and width setting is going to change. You can also make it a different color if you prefer, but I'm going to leave it that nice neutral gray for now. And if you want to put some generic alternate text in here, just in case you ever forget, or if you don't want to put specific alternate text in every one, you could do something like photo from the Galapagos Islands, a more general description that would apply to multiple images in a collection like this. Now when I click OK, you see I have a nice generic placeholder image in place. And now if I choose Save, don't be confused by the fact that Dreamweaver is once again offering to update these pages. Unfortunately, Dreamweaver is not very good at distinguishing between changes made to an editable region and changes made to a non-editable region in a template when it comes to this update dialog. But even if I say update, you'll see that no files were actually changed. 2 files were examined, but nothing was updated. That's because the changes I made in this editable region. And if you think about it, when I go back here, you wouldn't want to automatically change the image and caption on any of these pages. That's going to be content that's unique to each of these pages. So make sure that when you're setting up your templates, you think carefully about what part of my page do I want to be able to make global updates to, and I don't need to change on each individual page. What part do I want to be able to change on individual pages, but that means I won't be able to make global updates. It's a trade-off, and it does require a little extra thinking as you set up your pages.